Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage. I'm doing a couple of little jobs on Ruby the Rapido. There is no issues with it, it's just basically little bits and pieces that we're picking up as we use her a little bit more. So I've got some holdback catches to do for the habitation door and the garage door because they're just a bit worn and the wind catches them and they can blow the doors shut. But while I was at it, I thought I'd show you a couple of other things. I'd mentioned previously that her previous owner, and only other owner, was very security conscious, which I'm not knocking. But where's that at? Well, first of all, the vehicle has central locking on habitation door and passenger side door. Then we have Fiamma Locks. These are excellent. If you've never seen these before, brilliant for any coach built or A-class motor caravan because the door locks are okay, but the construction of the vehicle means it's probably relatively easy to defeat them and drill the locks and you're in basically. But these are rather more of a robust solution. So basically it's got a turnkey that allows a plunger to come out, and then this whole thing rotates and locks into place again there, and then in order you can open the door. But if you tried to open the door with that in place, you'd basically have to destroy the van to do it, or defeat a slightly harder lock. And I'm sure, you know, given enough time, the right people can get in and out of these things. So that's a couple of the things going on. Then spin round into the cab for a moment. We've got keypad operated alarm system with interior sensors, and they're throughout the van. We've got door sensors on all of the hatches externally so that the alarm will go off if any of them are opened. And we've also got an immobilizer system which cuts the fuel pump, so you can put the ignition key in, you can turn the key, A, it won't even crank, but B, the fuel pump isn't running unless you've got this transponder as well as the key. So quite a lot going on there. Also, as discussed, despite having a roof rail system, there is no ladder on the back. Instead, the owner had a telescopic ladder that he used to access the roof through the pretty large skylight. Anyway, the first little task I'm doing today is to replace this and this. Whoop, squeak. And these are the holdbacks for the habitation door. You can see clearly how they work, but they're just worn and it opens very, very easily. Sorry, closes very, very easily. So they're not really doing an awful lot. And there is a similar but slightly different version here for the garage or luggage compartment door. This one is fixed, the slightly simpler, more straightforward style. And the one on the habitation door is a slightly more sophisticated pivoting variety. Part of its issue is it's worn. The other part of its issue is it's actually been fitted backwards. So the hinge is here, and as you can see, this won't go left, it will go right. And so to meet the approach angle of the door, it wants to swing left, and it doesn't. So it doesn't really make the most intimate contact where it could. but it's certainly got a bit of age to it. You see the plastic starting to grey up nicely. These things are relatively cheap and easy to get as long as you know what they're called. This one is a pivoted Veneta door retainer. This is a cheap and cheerful brand, W4. You see stuff hanging on hooks in all sorts of motor caravan stores. And that cost me £6. And the fixed one, rather simpler. Again, it's a Veneta door retainer, just doesn't say pivoted, £2.99. So they're pretty cheap. So if you spot any issues, really should just swap them. We'll start with the easier one. Well, has it been stuck on? Got some sealant behind it. Yeah, a little bit. It shouldn't really be there, because other than the screw holes, there really isn't anything to seal. So before that goes back on, I will just clean that up to make it look a bit prettier. Get the other part off. And I don't know if you're going to see it on camera or not, but you can see the plastic starting to grain up. And if I scrape it, basically just turns to talc under my fingernail. So yeah, it was time. Bit of Demon Clean, so a mild active cleaner. Bit of plastic. And then a little bit of rubbing, and most of it comes off. So I struggled to show how the plastic was degrading. I think that one probably shows it up rather better, doesn't it? Yeah, this is the same style of thing. It is from a different manufacturer, no doubt, but even so, you can just see how that's decayed. Although I removed the screws with power driver, it's always better to do this sort of thing up by hand so you know exactly how tight you're making it. You don't want to go mad. Again, slightly different design, but critically the hole spacing is the same. Yeah, you can see the decay. There we go. That's better. Let's got that. Interesting. There's a base and then the foot. Let's have a look at the new one. Well, this is the same design. It has a much thicker base. Than this. So I could fit it straight on top. That's fine. Or I could pull the top off. But really I want to get that old base off because it's so ugly. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Why did anybody imagine it would need sealant? And it's more like window putty, if I'm honest, because it still retained a degree of plasticine-like quality. Look, I can peel it back. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was old blue tack. Let's get my plastic scraper on it. I mean, if this is to stop it going through the screw holes, you know, screws do that. Or put a bit of sealant in the screw holes. Very odd. I may need another tool. No, I'm going to move it like this. I think sort of a vacuum effect. As soon as I can get one edge off, it'll just fall off. There we go. Ugh. A nasty piece of work. There may be a hole behind here, but I don't think so. No. Absolutely pointless. There's no way that was done like that at the factory. Way too ugly. So these have been replaced. It's 15 years old, and it could easily, this could be its third set of catches. I just scrape up the dribbles to get a little bit more dwell time on the glue. So just squirting more and more and more on, effectively giving it 10 seconds or so. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to use a new base because the discoloration on the old plastics is so big, but it would be really obvious if I swapped it. As the screws are a little bit tight in the plastic, I'm going to run it through with my power tool. There we go. And the most important thing with this, as I say, the old one was fitted backwards, is make sure this pivots towards the door. Because if you think about it, when the door folds back, it's going to come out slightly at an angle. So it needs to be able to swivel to accommodate that, which the old one didn't. Correct way towards the door. And the result is an entirely different animal. There's no way the wind's going to take that. And on a second look at the old parts, where I didn't notice until I looked inside, you see that? It's not the best light. It's breaking up. So it wasn't long for this life anyway. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.